Hey everybody, welcome into this week's edition of the Top 5 from Tony's Spot on Fishing. I'm your host, Tony Krizek. We're actually downtown Chicago here fishing, doing a little bit of everything. Kings, Steelhead, Browns. It's that time of year when everything is all kind of around down here. But we want to bring to you a Top 5, getting everybody ready for the Steelhead and Brown trout season that's going to be here before you know it. You know, water temps are continually dropping, the air temperatures are very slowly dropping. But we want to actually give you an idea of some of the baits we're going to actually throw later this fall for those fish. The first one we're going to talk about is actually the Acme Castmaster spoon. Now what's nice, it's a pretty versatile bait. We can actually jig it or straight retrieve it. Naturals, you know, your nickel plates, gold plates, feathered and unfeathered both work very well. And again, versatility, straight crank, jerk, stop and go retrieves. It's very versatile bait to throw, especially for the Browns and Steelies. The Storm Wiggle Wart, I'll tell you what, I've probably caught more steelhead on a wiggle wart than any other crankbait on the market. High vibration, a lot of rattle, good flash to the bait as well. We catch so many of them, and even the Browns too. Especially, you know, if you're not getting bites on anything else, that wiggle wart will produce when nothing else will. Dives about 6-7 feet or so, so it's right in that perfect strike zone. When they're active, they're going to be up higher in that water column, even if we're out over deeper water. So that is a good option. Always, when you're just trying to get a bite, throw that wiggle wart. Kale Wobbler, that's a very popular spoon, especially when we're out fishing the Kings early on in the fall king run. We'll throw that Kale Wobbler, but we can use it too as well when we're out here fishing for the Browns and the Steelhead. 3/4 ounce and the 1/2 ounce size both are perfect options depending on wave conditions. You know, also the fish will dictate exactly what they want. There's been times where we just do so much better on that 1/2 ounce. Sometimes we're going to do better on that 3/4 ounce. If they have pushed up alewives that they're feeding on, you got to kind of match the hatch and play around and find exactly which one they're looking for. Now this next option, I'll tell you, is probably one that I get the most weird looks at. And any of my years in the tackle shop industry, various shops I've been a part of, guys look at me like I got 3 heads, but I'll tell you what, one of the best bread and butter secrets I can give you for catching Browns and Steelies late in the year, something you'd never probably really think about doing. It's actually a very small presentation, and if you ever fished crappies, you're probably pretty used to it. It's a 1/32 ounce jig head with an 1.5-inch, 2-inch white tube jig. Yeah, you're watching a Steelhead and Brown top 5 list here, and we're talking a 1/32 ounce jig head with an 1.5-inch to 2-inch pearl white tube jig. Now a lot of times we'll even tip that with a wax worm just to give it a little extra scent, and we'll pitch that out right at the edges of the walls, and oh my goodness gracious, cohos, Browns, Steelhead, even Lakers we've caught later into the year on that presentation. So there you go. That is probably my #1 secret to give you guys on our top 5 right here. Last but not least, of course, is drift and spawn. Now, if you've been out fishing Kings and you got some of the spawn from that, you can run that for your Browns and Steelheads as well. If you're running the fresh skein, the spawn still in the skein, you're going to want to use that loop knot that we've showed you over the years on Spot on Fishing. If you're running a spawn sack, we can get away with running a treble hook or a single hook, however you prefer. Slip bobbers, you know, usually anywhere from 3 feet to 6 feet. We've even gone as deep as 8 or 9 feet. And again, the fish will tell you what you want, play around with it, and you can figure out where you're getting your bites from and go from there. Now, before we let you go, ladies and gentlemen, we want to show you a little preview of some of the Steelhead action. It's not a very big steely, but we were actually out filming Kings and trout out here at Lake Michigan, around the Burnham Harbor area, in between the shed and the planetarium. And we were able to stick 1 steelhead on the spawn already. Now this was actually going to be a part of a king salmon show, but hey, nice little bonus fish to have a steelhead. So that's what we're going to show you, coming up right next here. But hey, what are your top 5s? You guys that are out here pounding the pavement on the lakefront, fishing Browns and Steelies and all that good stuff, the cohos even. What are you throwing primarily? Let us know in the comments below. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Tony Krizek, and as promised, here you go, a little steelhead action to get you ready for this season.
Yeah, something here.
I'll tell you what, hook popped right out there. These fish, we were bouncing around inside, burn them, and just could not get a bite to save our lives. But there we go. That's a nice little steelhead right there. Not very big, but fishing lakeside now on the pipe side. And actually we're able to get that fish to eat on the spawn. Beautiful colorings to that fish. But basically when we're out here, we're able to do, especially lakeside more than anything, we can throw both the spoons, crankbaits, and the spawn. And right now we're fishing an area that a lot of people refer to as the tube or the pipe, where these fish are coming in and out of the current like that. And actually tried something a little different. Didn't see many fish up in that 3-4 foot range. Dropped that slip bobber down to about 6. And we're able to stick a nice little steelhead there.